What's up, my beautiful YouTube community? So we're back with another video. I posted on my story on Instagram, which if you don't follow me here. I've posted if you guys wanted a roof wrap or if you wanted a taillight blackout. Now, most of you guys chose a taillight blackout, so that's what we're going to be doing today. I said I was going to black out the housing, which isn't false, but we're going to be doing something a little more custom. I follow this guy on Instagram, and he had posted a picture of the Buddy Club taillights, but he had no clear housing on the outside. And I was like, that's pretty interesting. It looked really good. He had tinted every little individual piece and then just got rid of it, just deleted the clear housing. So I thought it was cool, so I reached out to him and I was like, hey, how'd you do this? How'd you seal it properly? Like, do you have any leak issues and things like that? And he said it went amazing for him. He actually explained kind of the steps that he took to be able to do that. So we're going to be mirroring that because I think it looks cool. We'll see how it looks. We'll try it. Worst case scenario, I fuck up my taillights and I have to buy new ones. Hopefully that doesn't happen though. So let's just start doing it. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to take these taillights out. I'm probably not going to show you how to take them out because there's a bunch of videos online on how to do that. So I'm just going to take them out and I'm going to place them on this table here. All right. Alright, so I'm going to show you from this angle how I cut these. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be following the exterior lines. So I'm not going to be cutting right at the edge, but I'm going to start cutting around here. Like around the top, all the way around the edges, around the bottom. After that, I'm going to sand it down, just so that there's no clear showing. It's interesting because they look like they could separate. It almost looks like they're already separating. But I don't want to break anything, so I'll just do it that way. Alright, cool. Watch me in my process.
HYPERDRIVE activated.
I finally cut all of it out. Kind of cracked, but it doesn't matter because we're not using it, so whatever. Towards the back, there's actually 3 screws. And with the 3 screws, you'll be able to take this center piece out. And then you'll just have the exterior housing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab like a sanding rotary thing. I'm just going to sand all this clear off. Like all of it, just remove all of this because obviously it doesn't look good. And then I'll get to this middle part here.
System overload.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. So now, can I remove this thing? Boom. Alright, cool. This is dope. Alright. There is 4 little tabs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then on this thing, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it just kind of sits there. And what I did was I used a little flat and I just pushed against that. That came right out. I'm trying to get this one out. It looks like there's little holes. There's 1, 2, 3 little holes. But I need something smaller than my flathead to pry it out. There it comes. So, we got obviously the housing. This is the inside part of it. Then we have this right here, which I'm actually going to be tinting. Then we have this piece, which is a side piece, this piece, which is this piece. These 4 bolts right here are holding this to this. And then these 3 bolts, 2 of them have washer, 1 of them doesn't, is holding this to this. Alright, now what I want to do is I want to take that one apart first before I start dealing with all this stuff. So let me go on to cutting this one. Alright, I got the second one apart also. So now I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to take it apart. My finger finally get to open up this tint. Alright guys, so I just did one side, and to show you guys, look at that. Blacked out that one, compare it to the original, you can see there's a big difference. Now, to show you guys how much work this took, I'm just going to show you guys the wrapping that I did, or the taillight tints that I did. So I had to do every single piece individually, so I had to start with this, you know, do every single one of these. Now the thing is, these have little like notches, like little ridges in it, and it's not adhering the best. So I'm gonna have to put heat to it and then kind of push it down a little bit better, just because, you know, it's not sitting right. Now on the little triangles or the Y's, it's fine, no problems, but it's down here because these little things have little ridges. So I'm gonna have to get a heat gun and put some heat to it. But before I do that, I just want to wrap this one and all these little pieces too. This one's already done, thankfully. But yeah, I just want to get all this stuff done first, and then I'll apply the heat to it. And then the last piece will be cutting all this, or sanding it all down, and then sealing this right here. Now I do have to also repaint this. So I have to put that through, you know, some spray. So I moved this inside, just because the garage is a little it's a little cold. So I brought this in here just because, you know, this is stuff that we can do inside. This is my room, by the way. This is my couch. This is my table. I have these all tinted, every little piece here. But I want to add some heat to it, just because I told you earlier in the video that there's little ridges in here. And I'm having a lot of issues getting it stuck there, like it keeps lifting up. So I think if I apply just a little bit of heat there, it should adhere a little bit better, and I can kind of mold it in a little bit more. Same thing with this. So this one has a little ridge up here, and it's been very, very difficult to get it to stick on the ridge because there's not much to hold on to. But with this, it'll shrink it, so it'll kind of merge a little bit better. It'll also be able to be a little more moldable, so I can kind of push my finger and get it all in those little tiny crevices.
We are looking at how to pronounce this word, as well as how to say more interesting and related words as well, so make sure to stay tuned and consider subscribing for more learning. This is a word of French origin. How do you say it? Crevice. Crevice. Pretty straightforward. Once you know, crevice. And now you know.
So let me do that. I'm gonna have you guys on here, and you guys can just watch me do this shit. So I just finished heating all of this up, shrinking it into its place. It looks good. I had to replace two little pieces here, but now they're there and they're secure, so that's dope. Now next step is to go back to the housing and to take all the little clear plastic off. I was able to put a flathead and kind of crack around the edges, so it took all of the clear off. Now the only thing is it left a little ridge, so I want to sand that down really quick and then put some plastic molding putty, and then I'll sand that down. So what I'm going to do next is I still have one tail light, sorry, that has the plastic around it, so I'm going to see if I can just crack that also. Hopefully it works, because it saves me a lot of time of sanding all that down. So we'll see how that works out. We are back in the garage, and to show you guys here, just so you can see the difference between this one and the other one. So you see around all these edges here how there is no clear left. Maybe right here there's a tiny bit, but it's not that bad. Now if you look at the one I haven't done yet, you can obviously see that there's a lot of plastic still left over, all over the edges. So I'm going to try to do the same thing with this one. So here at the edges you can see that it's kind of separated a little bit, and there's enough space to put in a little flathead screwdriver. So what I'm doing is I'm just twisting, and it cracks kind of here in that spot. So I'm gonna do that real quick. Okay, cool. So I did this one, came out easy too. I just, same thing, wedged it in and it started coming off, little piece, and it came out easy money. Okay, so now what I did with this one is I just cut the wires, because there was the little button that was stuck there, this one, and it doesn't come out of that spot, so I just cut them real quick. I bought this thing right here. I bought it at Harbor Freight. I don't even know how much it was. I think it was like $6 or $7. And it comes with everything you need. Got the stripper there, so later when I want to attach it, I'll just strip the wire. And then there's the little things right there to connect it and shrink it, heat shrink it, since we already got the heat gun and everything, so that's done. I'm just gonna put the plastic weld on here. So, we finished sanding those pieces. Let me show you guys. They're just drying over here, but it's all sanded down. Everything's a little smooth here. We used the 800 grit, and then we went over to we used the 260 grit, and then we went over to the 800 grit. And yeah, everything looks smooth. Anything that is imperfect, the paint will kind of cover it, so you won't even be able to see. So I got here the inside pieces, which I wouldn't normally have painted, but I got some cuts in this, so I just want to kind of hide that stuff. I also want this color to match the color of the housing, so everything kind of looks flush. I put it in this little box here, and we're in my garage. So I'm just going to spray it down real quick, put like 3 coats on it, and then once those dry, I'll do the same thing for those. And then we'll go on to the sealing process, which is the second to last process. So we're almost done. We're really, really close. Do you want to introduce yourself to the camera? Hello? Really light coats. Bruh. I just finished the last coat on this piece right here, which is the outer housing. The inner housing is right there, and those have been sprayed for a while now. So I'm just gonna let it dry for a little bit, and yeah, that's gonna be it for today. I'm gonna continue tomorrow. Overall, they look pretty good. There are some spots that aren't perfect. I did have a little bit of running paint. Just because I wanted to kind of really cover those spots, and then I accidentally put too much. But overall, it looks extremely good. It's not perfect, but you know, this is my first time doing most of this stuff. Spray painting, not really, but molding the putty, cutting the lens, cutting wires, even like all this stuff is pretty new to me. So the more that I do it, the more I'll get used to it. Plus, eventually, let's say I want to wrap the car or something like that, I got to take the taillights out for any kind of reason, I can always cut the sealant and then redo these parts just to make them a little bit better. But I'm happy with how it looks. There's nothing's ever going to be 100% perfect, and I strive for as perfect as we possibly can get. I like how this is a matte finish too. It's a flat black on everything. This used to be gloss, but I like it so much better. Finally finishing up the taillights. So I got all the pieces here on this table. You can only see like this right here, but I'll show you everything once I'm doing it. I have my sealant here. I got this from AutoZone. It's Permatex, just clear RTV, because I don't want like black RTV, because then it's going to be a lot harder and it's going to show the black. So I just got some clear. So these taillights, as you have already seen, come in multiple pieces. We have this right here, which is like the outer plastic. We have the actual housing here, which is this right here. And then we have all the individual like lenses, which are all red. We have to seal every single one of these little sections, because water can come in through any of those, fuck with the LEDs, fuck with the wiring, and then you're screwed. You gotta get new taillights. You can kind of see what it's gonna look like, and you can already see that it looks pretty fucking dope right now. So imagine that on the car. That's gonna look sick. Before we seal this main housing, I had taken these off, which are the LEDs that actually go behind, and I had to cut this button out. So what I'm gonna have to do is, before sealing, I'm going to have to reattach these wires, obviously, to this, and then put it back into the housing. Let's get that done. This installed, got the wire in there, the buttons are back in. So now it's time to install. now that I never filmed a outro for my video, so I'm filming it right now. It's been a little while since I did the project, about like 2 months now, and I have had no issues, no LEDs have burnt out or anything like that. They look fucking amazing, and I've gone through rain, I've gone through car washes, I've gone through everything and no problems so far, which is good. I did put a video on my Instagram about how I would have changed the build a little bit, so I would recommend you go to my Instagram and look at that. Like I said, I'll plug it again. I think I plugged it earlier in the video, but I'm gonna do it again. Thank you guys for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe, give me recommendations of what you want to watch. Tell me what mods you want to see on the car or what kind of videos. I appreciate you guys.